My God, guys, so many of you. "15, welcome. Let me just set up the light properly. Happy to see you all here. Just let me know that you hear me. You can, by the way, switch on your cameras as well, so I can see you. I'm going to know that you're actually present. Hello, guys. Oops.
Olga, we can hear you fine. I'm just going
Yes,
to turn the
Amir.
camera in a bit.
I was trying to collect myself with a flashy microphone, but seems like I will have to be with this headset. So unfortunately. So guys, without further delay, should we jump to the training? I actually wanted to have a bit of a chit chat with you first. Maybe is there anyone who can volunteer, raise your hand, switch on the sound and the camera and introduce himself or herself and tell me what you personally experiencing within Dubai real estate. So we can kind of start from the ball rolling. Who is brave enough? Guys, do you want me to call someone? Amir, it's going to be you then, because you already voiced yourself.
Yeah, sorry,
Can you do that?
I'm just feeding the cat. I'm gonna be there now. So tell me, what was the question?
Be very unique. You're probably experiencing completely different problems that other agents in Dubai. What problems are you currently facing with your deals?
So honestly, right now the offers are really low ball, and the sellers are not yet ready to decrease the asking prices or go down. They believe the market's gonna jump back. And yeah, that's the main issue. There's so many offers. There is so many buyers out there still looking, but the prices are not there yet.
Okay, guys, I'm not sure if you heard. It sounds completely logical. Thank you, Amir, for sharing this. But if you had kind of a mismatch in what Amir was just saying, he was just saying, I will repeat to you so you can actually understand it from the different angle, because he was saying that the sellers are not ready yet to decrease the price. So it sounds completely logical, but it gives me an understanding that he's coming from his own assumption. So he is the one who believes that the sellers, maybe he's not consciously believing this, but he unconsciously maybe thinks that the sellers have to reduce the price in order the deal to start happening. See? So, and I'm going to circle back to that in our training today. It's not only about the sales skills that I can share with you. You can, grab them and start using it. It's more about the beliefs that you have yourself. What do you believe is true? Because if you really believe that, yeah, that makes sense, the price should go down, that's very logical, and the sellers have to decrease the price, then it's going to be very hard for you to negotiate and communicate with the buyers why they have to, put the budget up. So let me check. There is some text. Okay. Guys, let's agree on some rules. I know that this training going to be recorded, and then it's going to be available for you later. I'm going to share some materials. If you feel that you want to ask the question, I'm going to be muting you if you are unmute and you're not participating in the question, okay? So if you want to ask the question, there is a button to raise the hand. So I will see that you're raising the hand, and then I will ask you a question. Okay? Agreed on that? I don't know. There is a reaction button as well, which is like this. And you can send it to me to say, oh, yeah, Olga, we got you. Okay. I'm inviting you to be a little bit more active in the chat as well. You can write the questions there if you leave it not that confident in front of the camera yet. Let me just open my slide presentation. 1 second. I have so many things opened on my laptop. I, by the way, was last minute before the training, preparing the training proposal to one of the agencies. Well, there are a lot of agencies, by the way, now. I'm not sure if the one that you are working in, investing in training and developing of you, but there are a lot of agencies reaching out to me with the request that we need a training for our team. That means that those agencies as well, guys, do not stop their marketing campaigns, which is really beneficial to you, right? Can you see the screen? Let me do the slideshow. Yeah, I think it's going to be visible right now. Cool. Guys, I created this training for the past 10 days, and every time I'm presenting it, every time I'm doing it, I'm adding something which is more relevant because the things are changing a lot. So probably you ask yourself, is it possible to shift this uncertainty in opportunity? And maybe you were thinking, there's everyone frozen, but I'm sure some people are making money. So what are they doing differently? I will try to answer all of these questions. However, if you will still feel that, let's say, you need your own personal strategy, your own personal understanding, as you know, I'm available for one-on-one strategy sessions, which usually results in agents are making at least 6,000 ROI on the money they invested. However, let's kind of pass this. Want to one more time to reintroduce myself. I know you probably seen me somewhere on my social media, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn. But why I'm here talking to you right now, why I gave myself this right to teach you, and more like share the knowledge. And this is what I would say. I've been only selling real estate since I was 21. I'm turning 46 this year. In Dubai, I'm for 11 years. And I came here, I jumped down to the agent level, even though I was a head of sales back in my home country. And I climbed up, or being an agent just like some of you, doing cold calls, because in 2015, then I was just starting. There is no lead generation. There is no social media. There was nothing like this existed. If you want listing, do a cold call. If you want a client for your off-plan property, do the cold call. Long story short, what I am teaching, what is the core of my methodology rather than my experience, because I'm sure you have yourself, some of you, a lot of experience, or your managers have an experience. It doesn't mean that someone who's been in the market for a long time, he can just step up and just like, well, I'm not going to be a coach now. I'm consistently and persistently investing in developing my own skills. My sales methodology built on neuro-emotional persuasion. If you ever Googled sales training on YouTube, you definitely see Jeremy Miner. And if you've seen him once, you will never be able to unsee him. So I was in a circle program in 2022, 2023. So neuro-emotional persuasion that he teaches blindly for the whole sales. He's not teaching specifically for real estate. He has no idea how to buy real estate operates because he's in US. US is completely different. Even if he knew US real estate a little bit better, it was not anyhow applicable to Dubai. So what I did, I learned neuro-emotional persuasion. It's literally kind of a different language how you speak, right? Through the questions, instead of you telling and pushing and convincing people, you ask them the right question in the right tone, in the right time. So they're going to be able to answer that and from their own mouth to the ears, convince themselves. Guys, that's the easiest way to sell. So you basically, as soon as you learn it, you sit down, you relax yourself, you ask the questions, and the client is doing all the work. You don't have to pitch anything. Anyone who's seen or been on my live trainings, maybe in-person trainings, maybe in one of the companies I've been or worked, You understand what I mean when I go into role play and I'm going round and round in circles. I'm not pitching anything. I haven't said anything convincing the client. The client is convinced. Okay, guys, hope I convinced you with that. You don't have to. Anything I'm saying could be debated. And one more time, there is no any magic word, magic wand to convince and convert each and every client. Doesn't exist. This is just one of the ways. And I'm inviting you to take what you need from this session as an experiment tomorrow. Try to implement it and then get back to me and tell me, how was that? Did it work? It didn't work? What do you need more from me? Okay, agreed. And I want these reactions. I can give myself a reaction now. Now it's gone from my screen. But give me thumbs up, guys, so I see that you're here. Okay, cool. Should we start? What is happening now on the market? And don't want to drop all of the names and numbers in you about Iran, Israel, how many bombs and missiles been intercepted. Probably know that well. And by itself, this information doesn't give much confidence to the clients, unfortunately. To buy real estate market, and by the way, these screenshots, as you can see, the stock market and the crypto. Let me move myself a little bit higher. So this is the crypto, this is the stock market. Been taken from a tool, online tool, Fear and Greed Index. The Fear and Greed Index is usually shows the behavior of the stock market. So you can see stock market here and crypto here. Yeah, stock market and crypto. So I just click the button and showed you. So both of those markets are in extreme fear. And everything which is happening in the world really first thing affecting the stock market, because it's very sentiment driven. How this tool is measuring the sentiment, meaning what the other people think. That's basically now, with the help of AI, analyzes all of the behavior comments of people online, whatever they are saying about the current situation. And of course, when everyone is fearful, what do you think is happening with the prices? Are they go up or down? Literally anywhere. The prices go down because there are less buyers, more sellers. And this is what shifts the market, right? Now, to buy real estate, fortunately, unfortunately, as well, very sentiment driven, because we are very much dependent on international investors and their sentiment. Are they fearful? Are they bullish? Bullish means they're more greedy. Remember, fear and greed index. So when I'm fearful, I'm withdrawing. The Bitcoin is 22,000. I'm not going to invest. I'm going to wait for the Bitcoin to be 102 because everyone is now investing. I'm going to invest this out. That's about the nature of human beings, guys. So those who will be contacting you, if your company haven't stopped the lead generation campaign, despite of what they're telling you, of, oh, I want a discount or want this. Reality is they are from the smaller number percentage of people who see the opportunity when everyone else is fearful already. If they're talking to you, if in the beginning of the call, they're not, oh my God, you called me from Dubai. I'm afraid maybe the missile going to come through the, Wi-Fi connection. Boom. If they keep conversation with you guys, that means they're interested. Because if you are not interested at all, completely zip, you're not going to have a conversation, right? And if your company, again, hasn't stopped the campaign and smartly transitioning into a different scenario, which attracts more those who are less fearful and more opportunity driven, the conversation becomes really easy if you know how to position themselves, and do not buy into the I need a discount. I will explain later why. Okay, guys, should I continue? So I want you now to get a little bit more honest with yourself and with me. The concept that I'm here to present is the foundational reason why you, your friends, clients as well, are having this type of behavior. And I call this concept, we lost the future. What does it mean? I'm not sure if it's you, probably it's not, but a lot of your colleagues in the office are not really doing much. Rather than, keep talking to each other, saying, oh, the market is shit. Yeah, the prices will go down, when they will go down. So there's this round and round in circles, creating more suffering for themselves, because definitely they're not in a position to make money. What that means, we lost the future, which, first of all, we never had. Reality that we cannot live in the future, right? We live in the present. But in our minds, in our thoughts, in our dreams, we all, including me, I came up with this concept because I was analyzing my own feelings and behaviors and why I'm so low. I need to pull myself back. I need to be operational. This is the time for everyone to kind of get together and see where the opportunity is. But I felt lost. I was very angry. I was upset. I was not accepting the fact, why this US, why this Iran, this is exactly what dealing with the loss means. I don't want to give any comparisons, but if you ever had a loss of someone dear, if any of your friend or relative or dear one is not with you anymore, you've been going through the 7 stages of kind of dealing with the loss. And the first stage is denial. So you deny, because now we don't want this to happen. We think, why this happened to us? What the hell? I was, and some of you were suffering, let's say suffering, were cutting themselves out of the quality time with the family, maybe saving money to get into the better position, maybe doing a lot of things without rest. So now you think the future from I had before, which I'm not definitely having now, and I've been suffering in my past. All this suffering is useless. And this makes me feel that whatever I will do now is useless as well. So if you want to shift this dynamic in yourself, and this is the only way, to be honest, that you can really take and implement what I'm going to be teaching further. Because if you don't have internal motivation, if you don't see the meaning, if you do not believe in this, whatever you're going to be given as the tools will not work. So we have to kind of judge ourselves first. The best way for you to accept that you lost the future that you never had, by the way, and all of the clients, they never had the future. This is imaginary thing. Now we're living in the world where 100% we understand that there is no certainty. But the truth is that we actually never had certainty. We just never had a proof that the certainty doesn't exist. So we do now in anything. So that means we have to become more living in the present, which is a great scenario from the beginning anyway. Guys, are you with me on that? Or are you thinking that's just a little bit too difficult? Even if you, by the way, do not believe that you have to accept it, if you will just try as an experiment to do what I'm going to give you now as an exercise, this is going to shift your perception and your ability to act in this specific situation. So the exercise that I'm giving you, and this is your homework, and it depends. I'm not there to watch if you're doing this or not, but it's up to you to decide. Here in this time and era, it's pretty much the entrepreneurial skills and your ability to adapt will determine, will you make money or you will be replaced by AI, guys? That's another topic I don't want to talk about, but think about that. So the exercise that I'm giving you is a reflection exercise. You take a pen and paper and write down the answer on the questions. One question, not question. How Olga created this event, this conflict, this situation in the market, this uncertainty in my life. How I created it. Guys, it's not like you've done nothing. We all know that. It's more like it's happened for me, right? So why I created this in my life. And I will give you the answer which I had. The answer is very simple. For many months, I felt like I can do more. I'm not challenged enough. What should I do, kind of to open up my full potential? Okay. I never asked for that, but isn't it the best opportunity to shift and change and explore what else you can do? So you will find why is this being created for you. And my own observation that the market being on the spiral, and instead of market just, going into the harder correction because of nothing, this event is what we all wanted for. We all wanted less competition, correct? Less agents, because the fewer clients, there are so many agents. We all wanted to have a better leads, right? So now those leads who are interacting with you are really the one who clicked now. They're more serious than, a couple of months back. We all wanted to have a better skills. We all wanted to be more resilient. So how? Otherwise, you will get a better skills and resilience if you are not overcoming the difficulties, which we all have now. So this is the answer of the question. We all created this. But we can be in a position of it happened to me, everyone else fault, and I'm weak and I can do anything. Or we can be in a position, okay, fantastic. Interesting how I'm going to deal with this now. One more thing I want you to bring into your story about yourself. If you watch any TV series or movie, not only about superheroes, there is always a hero in the movie and there is always a villain. There is always a bad guy. There is always obstacle. Or aliens, or I don't know, or fantastic weather conditions that you have to overcome. So there is always something. If it's going to be a movie about the guy who just have a great life, just drinking coffee, just, watching the sunset, would you be watching this movie? Is it interesting? No. So you are yourself evaluating how strong is the character by how strong is his villain, the villain he has to overcome. This guy, the bigger he is, you remember, oh my God, Avatar 3. How much more challenges they could have? Yes, they could. So now you see yourself stronger if you overcoming that villain. And by the way, the funny thing, the same applies for Dubai. We were safe. We were saying we are safe, but we never actually had safety tested. We never had that. We never had a villain who will come and try to test, are we safe? Guys, all of this you can use communicating with your clients, because this is an analogy which is easy understandable by anyone. Does that make sense, guys? Good. New messages. Let me just check messages to do. Yes, this meeting is recording. It's recorded, guys. Someone is asking in the chat. So let me jump to the another slide. Who's seen this guy? I forgot the name of the channel. Play the TV or something. Play something like this. By the way, if you haven't seen it, the game theory, Iranian war conflict, you go on YouTube, you will see this guy. I watch one of the first days when this happening. I watched this video, which I screenshotted. He basically, briefly, he's not talking about Dubai first. He's some US, as seems like, to be professor. So he's briefly told that Dubai is going to be, non-existent because, what is it? It's just like a couple of rich families just escaping the taxation from the world. That's just going to be wiped off. And you continue. But I was like, okay, what I'm trying to say here is now in this uncertainty, the content that you're creating, you as an agent, if you have a platform and you're creating the content, is getting way more views because of how the market is now looking towards Dubai. So my advice to you, whatever you're going to hear today on a training, and I'm going to go through 3 concepts of how to explain to the clients, how to push the clients who are waiting to actually do the action. You can use all of that in your content. Not only, as I see a lot of agents just walking around the state, oh, it's safe, it's good, it's fine. This is not what the people are afraid of. The people are afraid of something that they don't know from the future. They don't know what's going to happen. But this guy is telling what's going to happen. You can create your own what's going to happen. To be honest, the guy sounds very logical. However, can we predict the future? No, at all. Even if the most logical thing, we cannot predict the future. So we can choose what we want to believe ourselves. So this is the strategies that I'm going to be presenting to you today. Strategy number 1. If you are selling off plan and you want to keep selling off plan, or even if you're selling secondary, when you're selling secondary, you're probably going to separate the risk of the market from the risk of investing into something which is not yet built. So that's going to be twist into something which is ready in the areas which are already performing. If you are selling off plan, my advice to you, to separate, because you have to shift the perception of them. And now that the client feels like all of the market is dangerous, but you have to show them that some developers were at risk even without the war. Some offers from the developers were showing us that they cannot sell their stock, that they need to have a heavy marketing, promotional support, because whatever the product they have was not on high demand. And that's true, guys. All of the smaller developers, and this is what I kind of believe, it's going to be a clean of the market as well, not only the agents and the agencies. Those who do not have, let's say, an advanced skills, who don't have an advanced mindset, they will have to leave, go back home. But as well, the developers who doesn't have a liquidity, doesn't have an experience, they will have to, either delay, either stop, maybe even sell out whatever they're building. And when I was doing this training, I've been asked, Olga, can we just be like this and tell this to the clients? But they're going to be more afraid. There is a very rarely used sales technique, which is talking against your own favor. Meaning, you as a salesperson, you in your favor is to keep saying, oh, the market's going to bounce back. It's great. The government, all of this. The client doesn't believe you because, of course, you're biased towards yes. This is what is convenient for you to tell him. So how I can create the trust? Yeah, it sounds good, but I know what you're trying to do. I mean, it's clear picture. Guys, if you were in the position of being a client, you can easily understand the things yourself. But if you are actually being honest and revealing, it's like, yeah, well, a lot of people are going to tell you that you can buy off plan, pay 20% because it's now the better payment plan given by the developer, wait till the completion. But let me explain you. It might look very attractive and a lot of people might buy into that. But in this position, why would the developer who was selling with a different payment plan will offer you this right now? Because he cannot sell otherwise. That is only why incentive. And if he's going to be offering this, eventually he will not have enough cash to complete the project. So the delays that you're telling me you're afraid of will potentially be there. Guys, because it's true. It's 100% can happen. So what I would do, I will reshift those who are still active into the developers, which are either semi-government or they have a very good location, which is not GVC, not overcrowded locations, which are going to suffer for sure. This is the first one will go down in price, and unique product with a very, very good quality. And yes, I'm talking about, EMAR, Miras, Ellington, those stand-alone developers, which are not yet decreasing the prices, not yet giving an amazing payment plans. They will sustain and they will deliver. And then you're going to keep those clients with you. And then you're going to have the long-term history. Because I've been on a boat in 2017 when I sold a project which I was handling as a sales manager. It was first exclusive project that Engel and Volker got back then it was no master brokerage, as an exclusive off-plan partner for the Aston Towers. So it was 2017. Guys, you know all this project now as Sky Hills Astor. And it's just now, I'm not saying about to be completed, it's half built or something. So you can imagine, I've sold this project in 2017. My clients are still trying to get the money back. It was a disaster for my team and for myself, because then we discovered that, they actually had no intent to build it. So again, one more time, you shift the risk from the market to risk to the certain developer by saying, look, there were a different structure for the developers who do have a backup from the government, who do have a cash-rich additional businesses, like, for example, EMAR has Dubai Mall, EMAR has a hotel component. Those are businesses which generating to EMAR cash now, cash in advance. Because if you have a mall and you rent your shop to, want to say H&M, but I can say Chanel or whatever, they pay you in advance, not after a year. They pay you the same as you do pay your rent advance. So I am getting this advance payment. I'm cash rich. So this means that I can start new developments. I can sustain even whatever happened, even if my sales not going to be as I expected, I'm going to use my cash to build. But if it's a standalone developer, or they do have only one type of business, which is a development, and they're going to stop selling, they're not going to have money to pay for the contractor. Contractor going to start building. The Dubai Land Department will not see their progress, will not give them more money. What's going to happen? Hope I convince you. So strategy number 2, guys. So now we have a fantastic, again, coming back from the first point, because of all of this, what's happening. And even without that, there are a lot of projects which you know yourself personally. If you look at that, what's going to be delivered in 2026, 2027, XYZ amount of units, but reality, 40% of those buildings which supposedly be delivering at that time, if you look at the completion state, it's going to be 25, 15, but clearly they will not be completed at that time. So we always have like a supply on paper, which is collected from the Dubai Land Department, and we have an actual supply which going to be delivered. So you all had problems with arguing or giving the arguments to the clients. Will that be oversupply? Will not be an oversupply? What's going to happen? So now that for sure, we will have this 40% delay, and those units which supposedly will be delivering in 26, 27, 28 will be pushed further. Yes, you can communicate it with the client. You can. I don't want you to be afraid of it, again, because of they will have more trust into you. And I like to have a bit of, amortization before I say stuff like this. I could say, look, Mr. Client, they're probably going to be 20 agents who will not tell you this, who would like to hide this information from you. but I'm a little bit different. The way I operate, I'm kind of transparent. So what do you want me to be like? Do you want me to tell you only what you want to hear? Or do you want me to tell you what is really happening? What are you going to say? Tell me what's really happening. So in his mind, you are now that type of person. This is one of the pieces of neuroemotional persuasion, that he's going to be kind of convincing himself, answering your question. Oh yeah, this is the guy whom I have to deal with. So on average before the crisis, we had from 15 to 20 people per month getting in new Emirates IDs. We definitely had more people coming in and maybe staying there without getting Emirates IDs, and that they potentially had an apartment there as well. But this is a recorded data. So with all of this, even if it's going to stop for a while, and it will, however, I think I have here a guest, not a guest, someone who came from Greece and got a job offer from 2 companies today. And he was coming despite I've told him to not come, wait. There is kind of uncertainty situation. You're starting as a new agent. It might be difficult for you. But he said, no, I'm still coming. And I do have another person, probably she's here as well. She's coming from Canada, beginning of May. So the people are still coming, guys. It's going to be less, but they will. And again, as soon as we will beat the villain, which I explain you how it looks like, we're going to become a better hero. So if there were a person in the world, which I doubt, which never heard about Dubai, because of this publicity, we're definitely going to be well known. So the difference between supply and demand on paper, which going to level up the future, that means potentially, despite of everyone is expecting the prices to drop, we might have maybe a slight correction during this uncertainty period, and then we're going to keep rising. Instead of, if we would not have this crisis, we potentially will have a longer correction cycle. But now we might be just rising up. So this is my favorite strategy. I will have to give you a bit of, hope you're not yet, okay. Hope you're not yet dead from the information that I'm giving you, not falling asleep. When someone is telling you, regardless they're an off-plan or secondary, that he's going to wait and see, and the cost will go down. I was doing the training in one agency on Wednesday, yesterday, and we will role-playing these arguments and objections from the client. So the agent who was playing a client, and I was an agent, of course, she told me that, but I had a client who was telling me, I'm going to wait till everyone is scared, till, they're going to be bombing Dubai. I'm going to wait for the 30% of the price drop, and then I'm going to buy. But look, now let's change the angle, right? What he's really telling you, this person. The person is telling you that when everyone going to leave Dubai because it's clear that we're going to collapse, then you're only going to buy. How does it make any sense? I believe that the person can think that way, but our goal is to call out the bullshit he's keep telling himself. Because no one wants to buy a stock if it's completely collapsing and everyone is selling. Really, no one wants to buy that. That means that something is seriously wrong. If we're talking about 30, 40% off. And if you've been here in 2015, 16, when the market started, a slight correction, the prices will go down really slowly. It was never 30% off. But 30% off in Dubai, specifically now, it should be something really, really desperately big. But yet, those clients who are coming to you now, they're fishing for the 50% lowball offers. But reality, they are ready to pay. They're not coming, they're not buying because it's cheap. Because it's not a supermarket. When you pass by, you don't need this hand cream. It was like it's buy 2, get 5 free. You just get in it. It's still a serious money for majority of people. But they are considering, because everyone knows, and it's unspoken, that we're going to be safe. And they know that, the same as you do. But they think that there are some idiots which are living in a bubble that the same people having the same information. Why would they not see what you see, Mr. Client? Well, there are going to be distress deals, of course. However, those distress deals are not because of the current situation, right? There were clients who purchased the off-plan properties with overpriced projects, overpriced developers, and they, even before the war, without the war, they were selling it with 25% below original purchase price. So now someone is repackaging it and saying it's a distress deal because of the war. But realistically, the distress deals and drop of the prices and collapse of the real estate market is only possible when the financial banking system of the country is going down, when we don't have liquidity as a country, when you as a citizen or president of the country are losing completely losing trust in the government, because our money, which all we have in any country, you name it, they do not back up by anything. That's just basically pure paper anywhere. They don't have a gold reserve or anything like that. So if you lose trust, you don't believe that this country is going to sustain, you start selling it and they're losing value. Everyone is selling it. They have no value. Okay. Now you have to be ready for this, because this strategy, wait and see, will not work. And why the price is going to be higher needs you to come up with a different points together. First of all, now the Strait of Hormuz, probably tomorrow, the Trump going to finish the ultimatum. We don't know what's going to happen, but the Strait of Hormuz is holding the oil veins, the blood of enterprises and energy supply for Europe, Australia, China, everyone. I hope you know that the prices of, and the gas as well, right? The prices of petrol and energy altogether inflated globally on a minimum 30 to 40% already as we speak. It was actually last week. My friend from Australia was sending me the bill for the petrol. I was like, yeah, I don't know. It's still good, still the same. So when the prices of oil going up and it goes, and now it's above 100 per barrel, when the price is going up significantly and fast, they do not go down the same significantly and fast. It takes time. So even if all of this, blackhead going to be released, the price is still going to be there for a while. When the oil prices goes up, what does that mean? And you actually can have those conversations with the client. That means that everything becomes more expensive. It actually means that the inflation is going up all over the globe, globally, because not only petrol is more expensive, logistic is more expensive, building stuff is more expensive, because it's all about the energy, right? So if everything gets more expensive, Mr. Client, what do you think going to be happening to the building materials that the developers are using? And what do you think, regardless where you live, you're not safe with it, right? Because I'm so sorry, in Europe, you have already prices going up. Despite you're not a part of war, there is no bombs, yeah, you're safe, that's good. But your government will have to pay these higher prices that they actually hasn't anticipated. And how they usually do that, the government? They tax you. So now let's shift into the different frame. I will finish this one and I'm going to shift into a different frame for you. So that means that the plots which been inquired by the developers, even before the crisis, I mean, majority of them been inquired before, they've been already purchased at the higher prices. Now we add on to this a higher price of the building materials, which is inevitably what's going to happen. This has happened already after Corona, because we had a big logistical crisis back then as well. So how the prices after will go down. They will not. They will only go up. Essentially, even if it's going to be fewer launches, the actual cost of construction will increase. So why would they put the prices down? And then the actual reason why majority of international investors and local investors as well, because they have to invest money somewhere. They're putting money here was because of what is happening in their own country, because of the taxation, because of the laws of inheriting the properties and the assets, because of how the government now and in the future it's going to become worse and worse, because why would they do differently? Putting the tax. And if you are talking to the international investor and he's saying, well, I'm afraid that I will buy now and the prices will go down 30%. Oh, you can ask, okay, so let's imagine. You think you're going to buy now and then there's going to be a drop of the prices because the conflict. Potentially possible. Yeah, possible. But let me ask you this, Mr. Klein. When do you think in your mind Dubai will recover? Guys, don't forget, he's talking to you, so he believes that Dubai will recover. So now this is kind of a little bit of neuroemotional persuasion. Instead of you telling him that Dubai will recover, let him tell himself. You can pull him in the direction you want. And he's going to tell you, oh, yeah, well, we don't know, maybe in a year, maybe in 2 years. Well, when they recover, what do you expect the prices will be like? Do you think they're going to be like before, or what do you think going to happen? Oh, no, I think they're going to go up because, the situation over there, all over the globe is not good. If he's going to tell himself all of the reason why initially he came to you in a conversation of securing, he's not even, most of the investors, they're telling you they want ROI, but majority of this, I want to preserve my capital because back home, I am losing, if I'm keeping this money back home, I'm losing minimum 30% every year in taxes, gone forever. But Dubai can lose 30%, but they will recover and I will get my money back. But if I'm going to keep my money in my own country, they're gone. No one will pay me back. And most probably the taxation gonna go worse in this coming years because the government spend on themselves and all of the social program that's supporting this, which we don't have. That's why we have support ourselves here in Dubai. So that means that the taxation will increase and this burden going to be on the shoulders of those who stayed in the country and keep working. That's why you hear for the past year, and another twist of that, I never heard anyone is talking about this. Well, you've heard how many millionaires all from all the world moving into Dubai, right? Yeah, great. That means Dubai is safe. Millionaires are not idiots. Yeah, of course they're not. But let me ask you this, and you can use this for the clients as well. Mr. Client, you heard that the millionaires are moving. Right? Yeah, I heard. But what do you think is happening with the tax they used to pay in their own country? What do you think happens to that tax? Who is paying this tax now? Because, the government in UK still wants to collect taxes. And as per recent reviews in 2023, it was like 3,000 something millionaires moved out of the country. In 2025, supposedly 16 millionaires. So those people, the 10% of UK population, those the richest one, they were paying up to 60% of all of the tax. So now they're gone forever. Guys, who will be paying this tax? The people. So the reason wait and see not going to work because of the construction cost. And the reason wait and see is not going to work for you, Mr. Clients, because you're going to lose the money if you're going to keep them back in your country where the government will take them as tax. So it's up to you to decide what is more important for you. Is it more important for you to preserve your asset? Yeah, maybe at some point it's going to go down even. So what? Or is it more important for you to keep believing that somehow the tax that you pay every year will stop? Is this even possible? So that's, I think it's all of my concepts. That's all of my concepts for today, guys. We are, how many minutes? little bit less than an hour. And 17 of us are here. I'm going to stop sharing. And if you have a question or you want me to have, Ali, you switch on the camera, you want to say something. I can see you. So it's your time to speak, guys. You can raise your hand or you can unmute yourself and ask me a question. No, no one. Okay. Anyone wants to type the question? 15K, 20K per year. Emmy, you probably, I'm just looking at the questions in the chat box. I was talking about the quantity of residents, the new Emirates IDs, which been given every month, 15 to 20,000. So that means the new people getting the residence, new residents, and not the renewal one. Yes. Georges, yes. You were trying to say something, no?
Sorry, I just want to tell you a big thanks for today.
Hi,
Thank
Olga.
you. Guys, I created this community really to, yes, Emmy.
Hello. I have a question. First of all, so pleasant to be here.
You
Thank you
can
for.
speak.
Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. What I was saying, thank you for opening our eyes for new things, new like response to our clients. Thank you for your effort. Can you hear me? Yeah. And my question, you mentioned that
And
every year
do you
there
have any
is.
questions?
Yeah, I do.
Yes, I can. I can.
Okay. Yeah. You said that there is new resident between 15 to 20,000 new residents in Dubai.
I mentioned every month.
Ah, every month. Okay. I got confused. All right.
Every month, not every
Okay.
year.
Okay. All right. Done. That's it.
No,
Thank
no
you so
worries.
much. All right. Thank you
Guys,
so much.
what I will do now, you've thank you, Amy. You've seen the 3 strategies that I gave you. I do have them explained point by point because I'm sure you hear what I'm saying, you understand what I'm saying, but you will not be able to maybe articulate it the same way. So I've got a cheat list for you, and I will be sharing the document with extended explanation about the three strategies that you can use, and specifically the one which will help you to prove that the prices in Dubai will actually go up because of, and you will be able to connect this dot. I'm going to be doing it probably tomorrow. Again, if you, I'm going to be putting the post in the Telegram group. You can comment under the post and give me the questions that maybe you were not sure how to ask. And then you can reach me out as well on Instagram. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer. And let's think of what is next. What do you want me to do next as a topic of your training?
Olga,
Okay.
probably cold call on this time.
Anyone before I go? Any questions?
Olga, please. Hello. Can you hear
Call
me?
script on this time.
Yeah. Cold call.
You've seen me posting. Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Amazing. Yeah. I have watched your previous video, like speaking about
I will do
maybe
that.
giving
Okay.
up, reducing the commission and.
But it's a strategy on the cold call, which you don't really need to use, but you can use as a point of conversation.
Okay.
I don't like to ever offer any kickbacks and never offer the kickbacks, but potentially just for you to kind of keep the conversation flowing. As I'm saying,
Create pipeline.
50% of
Create.
something
Yeah.
is better than 100% of zero.
Sure,
Correct?
sure. That was a very bright idea.
Yeah. How to make the market better?
Yes.
That's exactly what I would do, to be honest.
Yes, yes.
How to get listing, how to negotiate the price. Okay, Yulia, I got that. We're definitely going to talk about this. How to negotiate the price. My favorite topic, because what I'm going to answer to this, guys, sometimes, and that was a strategy before, I don't think going forward that will work. We are trying to list the properties. We're trying to put as a listing properties which are not actually even in a position to be sold, because the sellers are only selling if they are getting a certain price. So unfortunately, I cannot have a recipe to convince a person who doesn't need this money, doesn't need cash out. I mean, rather than scare him away, but he's not afraid, he's not going to be afraid. So it's always been the same case. We are qualifying the seller if he doesn't have an actual reason, compelling reason to sell. He doesn't need to pay for something. He doesn't need to relocate himself. He just doesn't need to move back to his own country. There is no point for him to put the price down. So that means that you can waste your time advertising this, because probably the price which is on the high end would not generate you much buyers as well. But that means that the reason you're taking these listings on board, it's not going to be pleasant, but coaching is not what you want to hear, is what you need to hear, is that you don't want to do more cold calls. You don't want to talk to more people. Because there is going to be, if you have more repetition, you're going to find someone who really needs to sell because he needs to pay for another off-plan property, or they're divorcing, or whatever reason. Guys, let's vote. I'm going to put some topics in the Telegram group for me to prepare for the next training. And if you feel that this is how to get the listing and negotiate the price, I'm happy to give this to you. I love this. But you have to promise me that some of you are going to be in a position to volunteer himself, switch on the camera, and role play with me being a seller. Because this is where you can see what I'm doing. And you will understand how to position the conversation. Because now I'm just talking a good game. I was like, oh, Olga, you don't know the sellers. They are so difficult. Give me a difficult seller. I will show you how to do that. Okay? Cool, guys. It's been 8 p.m. It's been 1 hour productive. Thank you so much. And see you soon, maybe